Going live.
Going live.
Hey
We're
guys, and welcome to the show. Surviving the Badge here. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Beat y'all.
Good job, Ronnie. Lager drinker by trade, just so you know.
Tonight is an interesting case. We're going to talk about the Delphi murders, which went unsolved for how long?
Almost 6 years.
Almost 6 years out of Indiana. And we had, okay, if you're wondering why we're live and not doing our normal, is because, the OBS system.
Sorry.
You're
that
blocking
we
the sex
use
symbol.
to do the recordings.
I'm sorry. John was just telling everybody that he's the sex appeal on the show.
The OBS system that we normally use to do the recordings and put in all of the pictures and everything else, I have no idea. It did an update and now it's screwed and it won't work. So here we are live. So you get to see us live and in person. Yay. And that's what we're going to have to do tonight. Sorry about the, Camille, can you adjust that a little bit more
Sure.
for me?
What do you need, LT?
Pull it down just a little. No, just pull it down just a little bit. Get those lights out of there. There we go. A little bit more. Just a her. Oh, God. Okay, never mind. Anyway. So sorry about that too. On OBS, I can adjust all of that, but obviously live we can. There's no preview button for live.
Are you saying I have a face for radio?
Oh my God, yes.
You were like Uncle Fester with hair.
Yeah, you are. So guys, we're going to talk about the Delphi murders tonight. Please give us your comments, what you think. If you want to look them up, there is all kinds of info on there.
Absolutely.
And Camille will go into it. I mean, there's some creepy audio from this guy that shows up in there. But let's get to the officer down page real quick.
Yeah, just real quick. We have 196 officers killed in the line of duty. Every matrix is down from last year except for gunfire, which is up 4%. Last month it was up 14%, so it is actually going down a little bit.
Yeah,
medical is way down because we have a lot fewer COVID-related deaths. And it was weird. One of the most recent deaths was a detective, and she died from COVID this year.
Wow.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of weird. Yeah.
She must have had some underlying.
She was kind of young, though.
Health
So
issues.
yeah, I
Who
don't know. Who knows?
Who knows?
Anyway, so to all of our fallen comrades, we love you.
Salute.
Rest in peace.
And God bless your families.
Absolutely.
All right, so let's get into this. This is a really strange
It
case.
is a strange case, and there's a lot more mystery to it now because law enforcement's blaming the state attorney's office, and they are actually keeping the probable cause affidavit sealed. Right. So a lot of people have a lot of speculation. So let's go back to 2017.
Okay, back to 2017.
Valentine's Day 2017. A 13-year-old Abigail Wins and 14-year-old Liberty German. They get their older sister, to drop them off at a.
They were dropped off on the 13th. It was Valentine's Day they were found.
Yeah. On the 13th, the day before, they were dropped off at a trail, which is a well-known trail in the area. It looks like an old abandoned railroad in Delphi, Indiana.
Okay.
So they drop them off.
What about Delphi?
It's a very small community. Rural community. Not much going on. Real quiet town. Just one of those small little.
You know what the population is?
You know what? I looked it up, and it's.
But we're talking like 2,500.
Yeah, it's a
I remember seeing
few thousand.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
not
small.
it's a relatively small community. Yeah. So dropped off, and they didn't come back when they were supposed to. Didn't think much of it, and then it extended. It got longer, and then they started worrying. Law enforcement's like, okay, where are these girls? And the location it's called Monon High Bridge Trail. And it's a relatively popular trail, and they were going to do some trail riding, and then it gets extended, and then they find bodies the next day. They find these two girls murdered. And
how old?
13 and 14.
Oh, man.
Yeah. They the next following few days, the law enforcement posted an image, and the weirdest thing is, well, I don't know if it's weird or smart or what. One of the girls, Liberty German, who's 14, she happened to take a video of a man walking toward them.
Okay.
And the video is this guy walking off the bridge, and he looks middle-aged, in his 40s, 50s, and he's coming towards him, and it's grainy. You can't make out detail.
It's like a bank video.
Right. Yeah. Right.
What is up with
Walmart?
Jeez.
You know, I mean, you get high resolution and all that stuff.
Of them stealing Pampers.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But a bank robbery suspect, grainy, black and white.
You remember the days when we had to deal with the
Microfiche,
the VHS tapes that had been used 400 times?
Yes.
Yeah, that's
the tape, you could see through it. It was used so many times. Oh my God.
So one of the girls, and it appears through the investigation, and there's a lot of stuff we don't know. So there's a lot of speculation, but logic says that the girl was taking a video of this man coming towards them.
Okay.
And then maybe had put it into her pocket, because later law enforcement.
Yeah, it was kind of muffled, right?
Yeah, they released the photo,
the video,
a photo
of the video,
so a
screenshot,
right? Screenshot of the video of the guy that they're looking at,
right?
And then a few days later, they released an audio, and the audio, and it's February, so there's a lot of leaves on the ground, and so you can hear a lot of crunching as they're stepping through.
We call that rustling.
Sure.
Rustling of leaves.
Rustling of leaves.
Is it really rustling? Is
I
when the
always thought it
leaves
was like
blow.
Well,
I think crunching. And then
I'm from up north. I understand what it is. It's rustling.
We have leaves here, John.
Do we?
Yes, we do.
That fall?
Yes, we
Okay.
do.
Oh yes.
Go out there and look at my freaking yard.
So they later, a couple of days later, they released an audio from this recording, and it says, "Guys, down the hill."
Actually, didn't the first one just say down the hill, and then I think they enhanced the audio or something?
Yeah,
like
all
that.
I heard was down the hill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot more to it.
Mm-hmm.
I want to believe we were both, all three of us were detectives at one time. Investigations. And I believe, and this is horrible to think about, but I think their whole murder is on this recording.
Mm.
Because if
and that's why they didn't release the entire thing.
Right. If Liberty
agree.
German put it in her pocket, this guy doesn't know that it's recording the whole thing.
And it's still alive, yeah.
And they say, and that's why it probably took a couple of days. Okay, this is what we're going to release. The rest is not helpful.
If you can transfer it off the phone onto a WAV file or something like that, then you can start taking out the background noise. You can start taking out all the other stuff.
Yeah.
So
they can do a lot
to
audio and video.
Exactly.
You know, and it's a digital recording more than likely. I'm assuming it's probably like an iPhone.
Yeah, it's probably an iPhone. Well, 2017.
iPhone.
It's not that far. Obviously, it's 6 years ago almost.
It's an advanced.
You hear this?
The IT guy.
Yeah, this is a guy that says, I don't know how to attach that to an email. And then he's coming up with all this. I think he's been sandbagging us. He's sandbagging us because he don't want to help. That's what it is.
So law enforcement releases the audio and the video.
I know how to tell people how to do things.
Oh, yeah.
Someone told me how to delegate authority because I had to do everything for him.
Yeah, right.
So we have an audio, we have a video of a suspect.
Right.
And we have a murder. But unfortunately, it goes unsolved for 5 years. So before we go into the 5 year, maybe we should talk about a beer.
I think that we need a beer moment.
Beer moment. Beer moment. We can't do the audio, visual effects, and all that, so we're going to have to do our own.
Yeah.
Beer moment.
Thank you. You know,
we don't have frosted glasses like the last show.
So the thing is, I think this episode was going to beat Crumbly 17 1,000
I hope it
videos.
does, but right now we have 0.
And the thing is, I think you sabotaged me.
Yeah, I think
you
so too.
broke in
I think
to
so too.
LT's house,
Yeah.
screwed up his audio so that this episode would not be.
We're
crumbly.
actually live and we can't get anyone.
Well, that's because because you're the sex appeal,
That's oh,
Yeah,
I am.
Who the hell wants to watch that?
right?
See better faces on boils.
All right, so what are we drinking, John?
This is a Lagunitas. Oh, I'm sorry.
How about Lagunitas?
Yeah, IPA and India Pale Ale. And I don't see a brewing company, so I'm going to.
Lagunitas.
It's probably.
I'm assuming Lagunitas
right?
is the brewing company.
Thanks for choosing to spend the next few minutes with this fine ale.
No,
Yeah, okay.
Aren't you an ale? You're a lager.
I'm a lager drinker by trade,
not an ale drinker.
It's got a good smell.
I'm not a big IPA fan, but I'm going to give that a 6.
I'm not an IPA man either. A lager drinker by trade.
Obviously,
It's a strong grapefruit flavor, but not a harsh.
It's not harsh. You're right.
How many times are we going to say lager drinker by trade?
Every single time.
Okay, well, that's 3 times this show.
Okay,
That's 4 because you
4,
said
you
it
said
again.
too, so,
Exactly.
yeah.
No, mine was the 3rd.
No, it was
Anyway, I'm going to give it a 5.5.
Yeah.
Okay.
as an IPA,
I hate IPAs.
I don't like IPAs, but I'm going to give this. It's actually drinkable. I'm going to give it a 7.5
Really?
as an IPA. But I'm a lager drinker by trade.
Anyway, so go ahead, Mr.
All
Neal.
right. So we're talking about the murders of Abigail Williams and Liberty German. So unfortunately, the case goes a little bit cold, and they start looking at everybody. When you have a case like this, you start from the inside and you go out. They started looking at the owner of the property where the victims were located, and I'm not sure it, because there's a lot of still unanswered questions. The owner of the property where they were located was this person told another relative, hey, if the cops ask you, you don't know where I was on this date.
Wow.
So that's pretty sus.
Dum, 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 dum.
Right? Yeah. And they looked at him. They did a search warrant on his house. They seized his car, all this stuff, and they never charged him. And then he died in 2020.
Okay.
So, right. And so they're going through all of this. Now, part of the biggest problem is when you're dealing with some cases, let's say you have a suspect who doesn't have a criminal history, who might not be in the CODIS DNA base. Let's say that the facts are the worst we can think of.
Mm-hmm.
That both of these victims maybe were assaulted brutally, sexually. We might have some good evidence on the suspect. If the suspect has never been arrested, is never, and therefore is not in the DNA database, we got nothing.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing to go on. We might have a DNA profile, but who do we match it to?
Classic cold case.
Cold case.
Yeah.
And then you interview hundreds and thousands, and you get nothing.
This is why the tips line
works
great.
Right.
It really
hundreds
does.
and thousands of tips. Hey, I think so and so is acting suspicious.
But you're still dealing with a small town of 2,000, 2,500.
Yep.
So, it's safe to assume, not safe enough to presume, but I would assume that he's probably local.
Right. It's a good bet.
So
which brings me back to the original case for murder DNA, which happened in 1986. 2 girls were murdered, And there was a guy in England, this happened in England, named Alec Jeffries, and he was making DNA possible for law enforcement.
Mhm.
And they came to him and says, "Hey, you're with all your DNA stuff, can we bring you like stuff from people and you can eliminate DNA from?" He's like, "Yeah, I can totally do that." So what they did is they did a DNA dragnet of this small town, and they got all the males to give up their DNA. Nobody. They couldn't find anybody.
It was a female.
No, come to find out, there was a guy in that town who contacted somebody else in another town and says, "Hey, can you give your sample in my name?"
Ah.
And the guy who gave it was drinking one night and says, "Oh yeah, I gave my blah blah blah," and then so that's how they were able to track down Colin Pitchfork, which is a great name.
That's great.
He was the murderer of these two girls through a DNA dragnet.
And how many cases? And you don't have to give me a specific number, but how many cases are solved by some idiot sitting in the bar or sitting on the back porch with a bunch of old boys,
right,
drinking a beer or drinking a whiskey or whatever, and saying, that bitch deserved what she got. I should have freaking done blah 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 blah. And they look and they go, "What?"
Or they keep it to
it's
themselves.
not even that.
And then
then
somebody
later,
calls the tips line and goes, "You know what? Joe Bob said that whatever."
Yeah, but how many of them, bad guys, they're thick as thieves, meaning they all hang out together. So I got a case hanging against me on stolen property.
Right. Yep.
And it's like, hey, I can give you the guy who murdered this person.
How many times did you do an interview of somebody and you're talking to them and you get them to confess, and then you say, "What else do you know?"
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And they're like, "Well, I've got this guy I know this guy who did X or Y." Yeah, you're absolutely right, John.
So, but then you gotta, you gotta give me more than your statement.
Right. Yeah. Let's make some phone calls. Let's do some more
we gotta
work.
figure this out, because I can't just take your word, because I also know that you hate that son of a bitch.
Right. Yeah. So this case went unsolved for several years. There was another guy who they were looking at. His name happened to be
Keegan Klein.
Keegan Klein. And he was setting up these fake profiles in this internet thing so that he could obtain naked pictures of underage girls. And he was doing all this, and
sick bastard.
Right, yeah. And he ultimately got charged with multiple counts of possession of child pornography and all this. So they were looking at him.
He lived in the town?
He lived near the town. Yeah.
Okay,
close to it. Yeah. They never really charged him officially. October 26th of this year, they arrested Richard Allen. Richard Allen, a local, lived in the town for several years. He worked as a pharmacy aide at the
imagine that.
Walgreens or
Local.
CVS. 50 years old, no criminal history, wife and child, only lived 2 miles from the bridge. So, I mean, hiding
in the area.
They always say hiding in plain sight. But,
yeah.
And it's weird how some people either they never did anything before their 50s, and then something just switched. Oh, you know what? I want to kill little girls. Or they've done stuff in the past and never got caught for it. But there's quite often, there was a guy in Canada, Colonel Williams. Colonel Williams killed 2 women, raped several more, burglarized many houses. And this started mid-50s. Nothing before. And he was the commandant of the largest air base in Canada. And then all of a sudden he turns into a serial killer.
Well, it's Canada.
Well,
What the
Well,
hell else is there to
you
do
would
in
think
Canada?
it would start in its 20s then.
It's not Canada. It's Canada.
What else is there to do in Canada?
Well, there's hockey. There's Curling. Thank you. There's fishing. There's hunting. You don't have to.
So let me ask you this, and I'm going to steal your notes.
Oh, jerk face.
All right, go ahead.
All right, no, go ahead, LT. Go ahead.
As of this as of this show, though, the PC affidavit has still been sealed.
Yeah,
Will probably be unsealed soon.
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
Why is that? I know that's your question, but I'm thinking, and I've been sitting here reading this, going, it's not the sensitivity of the case. That's not it. I don't think that's it anyway.
I don't think so either, because there's other sensitive cases.
Here's what my gut
what's your
feeling.
Theory?
My gut feeling.
Because I was going to bet a cigar to see who is most accurate.
Not my gut.
Because we have a cigar bet on the
David
DePappy case.
Criminal record.
I'm going to win.
Being withheld.
But
I have another cigar bet to see who in this part right here, who is more accurate on the. I'm guessing what the reason why or how my cigar bet is how they got this guy.
Okay. Yeah, how did they get the radar?
How did he get on the radar?
How did he get on the radar? But I'm going to answer the other question, which I think that they have this sealed because I don't think that they are 100% sure it's him. And they are sealing this to not let out any information to the public. So in case another suspect that is more worthy or that fits things better comes up, they don't want to leak anything. So this guy, copycat or whatever, that's just my wild ass theory.
All right. So what's your theory?
My theory as to how did he get on the radar? Familial
DNA. You
DNA.
Son of a bitch! You son of a bitch! You stole mine. I should have gone first.
Okay, because
that's my idea.
He's got a brother or a cousin or someone.
That's what I thought.
Who sent away the DNA, ancestry,
This screams that, doesn't it?
Right.
It totally
it screams. It's just okay. We've got a match, and it's like 2 epithelials away or whatever it is, and they're like, we know, and I don't know exactly how it happens, but what happened was they've already got the DNA from the scene.
Yes.
Okay. And this is a reminder to all of you at home.
All you serial killers, remember this.
Okay. Any felonious suspect out there, if you've got a brother, a cousin, a mother, anyone who wants to participate, for Christmas I want the ancestry DNA thing. I want to test my DNA.
Yeah.
They all send those to law enforcement. And all of a sudden
there's very few that do not, right.
Now all of a sudden the DNA database has, he talked earlier about, well, he's never been arrested for a felony, he's never did this, there's no DNA database. Well, we in America have created it.
John, I hate you.
And I'm not, I have not submitted to it, but my brother has, so I know I'm out there.
Yeah, I've done it. Yeah,
I'm out there, so I know that. So, because
none of us have been arrested, we're good.
They got to find my brother and then say, wait, this one's like off by like 2 epithelials or
whatever it's called. Yeah.
So it's got to be an extremely close blood relative.
Well, that's how the Daytona Beach serial killer got caught. Florida, which I imagine a lot of states have, a DNA unit that deals with exactly that. And so what I think happened, 100%.
Well, wait, we have to hold on a second because you're saying 100%, but you have a cigar bet for anyone who wants it, and I took it.
Yeah.
So what is
so I have to come up with a different theory.
Yes.
Oh.
Must be the tire tracks, right?
Well, I think that it also involves our listeners.
Oh,
is this a cigar bet just between us? I don't know.
No,
because you said anybody who wants it.
Right. So
you're gonna have to send a cigar bet to our listeners.
Yes, you're mailing it, not me. I always mail the damn stickers.
So
we have no watchers right now.
That's all right.
We'll
have watchers.
What's going on?
If you guys have an idea or a theory of why this guy got onto the radar and why he's been arrested, and because you can't arrest somebody just out of a whim, PC, probable cause, this guy was arrested, and everybody's like, yes, this is the guy.
He's not just arrested, but charged.
Charged, right? The state attorney has filed actual charges.
The guy.
So jeopardy has attached.
Yes. Yep. So if you have a theory of what brought this about, because Jerkface stole mine, but I would love to hear yours.
I'm the brains and the beauty. I'm just saying.
And I'll tell you what, I have one sticker left.
What? Where'd you get that
last sticker? It matches what's behind me.
So if you guess correctly,
no.
Sorry.
You've already said your cigar bet.
But let me finish that.
Okay.
It has to be before. It has to be before it's the PC affidavit's released.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
if you can tell me how many times John said, count them, and you're correct, I will send you a sticker. All you have to do is send me an email to retiredcopsrule@gmail.com, and I will send you a sticker in the mail. There you go.
All right.
Hey, real quick, I want to thank our sponsors while we're
right
here.
ahead.
I want to thank Kristen and Tom Clem of Exit Realty. Those guys are amazing. If you guys are ready to move to Central Florida and you want to buy a home, please contact Kristen and Tom Clem, because they are ready to sell you that home and take care of you. These guys are absolutely amazing. And also Tom or Clem Property Investments. You guys are ready to sell that home and get the hell out of Florida because you're tired of the hurricanes, or you got grandma's house that's been sitting there for 4 years and you just want to get rid of it and unass it. Tom can take care of you. Tom is a veteran Marine.
Yes. Happy Veterans Day.
Happy Veterans
Day. Yes.
Salute.
We're still
to our veterans.
We are on Veterans Day and we're live, so we can't pretend we're only doing it
right
every other week.
But Tom is a veteran Marine. He's also a full-time law enforcement officer that is out there protecting our streets. Thank God, and thank you, Tom, for doing what you do. We really appreciate it. All of their information is down below. And last but not, well, actually, we have two more sponsors. Kenny's Groceries, 1792 and French Avenue in Orange City. They provided the beer for tonight's show. Thank you to Kenny's. We appreciate it very much. And we are glad you are back as one of our leading sponsors. Thank you very much. Our last but not least sponsor is ARackAbove. Steve, you're amazing. This guy developed a rack that goes in your garage. It'll go all the way across your 2-car garage. You can put all of your stuff above.
What about a 3-car garage?
Depends on the distance and the width of it, but I think it'll go up to you can definitely get 2 for sure. It'll hold 2,000 pounds of totes, whatever tools, whatever you want up above. You can walk underneath it. You can park your car underneath it, and it is absolutely amazing. This guy developed it himself, and Steve, you did an amazing job on that. All of his information is down below, and his website is ARackAbove.com. Look at it. You see all the pictures that he's put in there of all the previous jobs. And what's neat about this rack is you can take it with you. It's not drilled into the walls or the ceiling or anything else. It is totally portable. So when you get ready to move, take it with you and take it to your new house. And I think that's it for our sponsors.
I think we're good.
All right. What do you got to close us out?
So let us know what you think, why this guy was caught. Why? What happened? What did he do? What the circumstances were? Put those in the comments, and we will we will answer all comments. I think you're right, John. I think it's going to be a DNA, familial DNA.
Since I said it first, I get the cigar.
If you're right.
If you're right.
If you're right.
If I'm right.
And that's what turned the radar on for the cops. On
LT,
this
what
guy.
do you think?
Man, I don't know. I think
that's why I was a lieutenant.
I think that somebody ratted on him.
Ooh, like a Unabomber type situation.
I think that a confidant or somebody that he had either spoke to or was noticing the way he was acted afterwards or something, or saw him out there. I think somebody ratted on him.
All right,
I do.
So I'm gonna. That's the same thing. I was gonna say his wife, and I can't use that because you stole that.
No. I'm saying somebody that doesn't live in the same house ratted on him. So you're saying somebody lives in the same house?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. There you go.
All right. And always at surviving the badge.
We still got your
six.
Guys,
Go Giants.
Guys, thank you for tuning in. Thank you very much. And please visit our sponsors' website. And we really appreciate them very much. You guys are the best listeners out there on YouTube and the best subscribers. Please make sure you like and subscribe below. We really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Happy Veterans Day.
All right.
Cheers.
Go Badgers.